Pronto? Nie, jeszcze 16 wieczór. Hi Manolis, you're with us? Hello.
Here I am.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So this is an unofficial. It's not yet open.
Good.
Good.
The second link said the webinar will start in 3 hours.
Well, yeah. You know the what can I say? Sorry. Okay. So Giamniadakis. Yes.
Yeah.
How should I pronounce?
That's one of the most difficult surnames in Greece. Even the Greek ones cannot spell it right. So just call me Manolis.
Manolis. Okay.
Yeah.
So we start, Manolis. We start.
Good.
Yeah. Let the show begin.
Once again. Let's go.
Let's go. Hi. Hello, everybody. Hello from Krakow and hello from Crete. Yes. Now or from Greece. Greece. Let me introduce to you Manolis. Manolis from ENOAP, from the producers of Peloponnese. And this is the second and the longest ever tasting of Greek wines, or at all of wines. We have 20 wines today, so we have to go fast. And do not forget to use this tool. It's a spittoon. You spit to it to be in good form till the end and after. Yeah, Manolis, so please, few words of introduction.
Thank you all for coming again to this second tasting of Peloponnese wines. I'm thrilled that because Piotr told me that you were very excited, most of you that were in the tasting before, which were tasting more mainstream wineries. Today, it's more boutique wineries, experimenting wines, things that may intrigate you to taste more and more of Greek wines. I'm so glad that I see you again here. I wish I can read all these lovely words that you sent to me and the smiles that I see. And just taste it, as I know it's a speed tasting, as I told you before, but I believe that you will fall in love with this wine and you appreciate the differentiation that it's in there. Have a nice tasting and talk to you later. Bye-bye. I'll be there.
You'll be there. Yeah, stay with us, please. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have first, let's say 9 wines, then the break. No, after the 10th, we have the break because this is the amphora wine, Retsina wine. So then we have a break for the questions and answers. And yes, hello. First winery, Tetramitos and Panagioti. Yes. Hello. So Panagioti.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. I'm glad for that. Well, Tetramithos is a boutique winery at the north part of Peloponnese. We are certified organic grape growers and winemakers since 1996. We own 14 hectares with vineyards at very high altitudes between 650 and 1,050 meters above sea level. And I'm going to tell you initially a few words about the region. The region is the municipality of Aegialia, which is the region with the highest percentage of organic farming in Greece. It's the region with the river with the most pure water in Greece, which is Krathis. It's the region with the less light pollution in Greece. That's why the biggest telescope in all the Balkan Peninsula is at the mountains in our region. And not only the winery, but also all of our vineyards are inside the national park of Helmos, which is the mountain, and Vuraikos, which is the river with the gorge. The region has a unique microclimate conditions because when Peloponnese separated from the main Greece with a big earthquake and the creation of the Gulf of Corinth, we are one of the few north-facing regions, viticultural regions in Greece. This means that we have all the mountains of Peloponnese in our back, protect us from the hot summer winds that coming from the Africa. And also we have the influence of the breeze of the Corinthian Gulf, which provides not only mild temperature, but also a very nice salinity to the wines, even at the higher altitudes. Before we pass to taste the first wine, I'm gonna tell you that we are not only organic producers, we are a step beyond the organic winemaking. All of our wines are low intervention wines, fermented with the natural flora, with the wild yeasts. They have spontaneous alcoholic and malolactic fermentation. They are bottled unfiltered, but still they are very vibrant, fresh, and clean, captivating the unique terroir of the region. I didn't mention many things about the soil because it's a very big variation. So you can find even limestone, clay, rocky. I think now that we can move to the first white wine, which is produced from Rhoditis grape variety. Rhoditis is the second most widely cultivated grape variety in Greece, but our region is the only one which produces single variety PDO wines. It's a single vineyard wine. As you can see at the technical sheets, it's high altitude. It's coming mostly from grafted vines because phylloxera arrived in our region at mid-70s until early 80s. But due to marcotage process, it's partly almost the 1/3, it's uncrafted. By tasting this wine, I think that you can feel a combination of the grape varieties character, which is lemon blossoms and citrus peel when cultivated in our region. Also with some nice dairy byproducts from the malolactic fermentation that create this creamy, velvety texture. And also we can feel the minerality, as many wine writers says, it's like smashing or blending stones and tasting this juice. This wine, as all of our wines, it hasn't any fining agents. And even with this small sulfur addition, which is 20 milligrams per liter before bottling, it has a great potential of aging. You can keep it and taste a very nice, unique evolution for at least 15 years without any hint of oxidation. Should we move to the second one? I don't know if Piotr is listening.
Yes, yes, I am. But the second one will be at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is the Retsina I mentioned. Yes. So you come back to us in
Okay.
20 minutes about. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And your wine is imported. Your importer to Poland is Win Kolekcja, is it?
Yeah, Terroiriski Vin Kolekcja. Yeah, it's Vin Kolekcja,
which is the brand of Win Kolekcja. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. And stay with us, please, for the next wine. And now, Eleni from Acheon Winery, Eleni Bluhu. And yes, so it's your time. Hello.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, and I'm really happy that we are participating in this tasting in Poland. It's a very nice opportunity for us to present you the wines produced in the area of the Peloponnese, which is the yellow land that you see on your left. Our winery is based in Aigio. Aigio is where the arrow is pointing. It is close to Patras, who is the third biggest city in Greece. So this is a family winery. There are 4 lovely children that are the 4th generation of winemakers. The head of the winery is Sosana Katsikosta, the lady on the left. She has studied enology in Greece and then continued her studies in France, where she had her DNO diploma and her marketing degree. And she also worked for Chateau Margaux and Chateau Latour before returning to the family business at around 2006 and starting producing wines that were based on her knowledge and passion, but also on the family tradition, trying to give the varieties and the expression of the varieties that were cultivated in this terroir. So our vineyards, which is the next slide, they face north and northeast, and they are facing the Corinthian Gulf, where the aura of the sea really keeps a very smooth temperature diurnal rate, helping the vines grow and the grapes grow smoothly. Some of the vineyards are very close to the sea. They are in a lower altitude, and this is specifically for the Sideritis variety, which is one of the varieties that we are cultivating. But most of the others are on the slopes of the mountains, and some of them reach an altitude of around 1,000 meters above sea level. You can see a few beautiful pictures with the sea. And this is a very different cultivation of a variety that is unique in Greece, which is called Sideritis. And this is the variety of the wine that we will taste. You see that the cultivation is done on pergolas, and their grapes are hanging because this is about 1 meter altitude, 1.5 meters altitude from the ground. Sideritis is one of the varieties we are cultivating, and the other one is Mavrodaphne. Mavrodaphne is a variety that has a PDO denomination either in Patras or in Cephalonia. Usually it is known for its sweet wines or the wines treated with oak, but we give a different expression of it. So this is the bottle of the wine that you will taste, which is called Sideritis. Sideritis takes its name out of the word sidero, which in Greek means iron. And this is the name because you will taste in the glass too that the wine has a very intense minerality. You usually find lemon, let's taste it also. Expressive lemon aromas along with pear and grapefruit and citrus. This is a wine that is usually low in volume, but it has a very good acidity. It's very refreshing. This particular vintage is also aged in amphora. So you will see a more textural approach and more round. And of course, Sideritis ages very, very gracefully. I hope that you will taste it and you will enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Eleni. And
You're very welcome.
Stay with us and come back pretty soon. And yes, and now Dominic and Yannikos. Yes, your wine, Eleni. The cost, extra price of the wine is €4.70. And now, Dominic, hello again.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Dominic Brun. I am the export manager of the Yannikos Winery. Welcome to this virtual wine tasting. It's great to be here. Thank you for that opportunity. I am with the Yannikos Winery. The Yannikos Winery is an organic boutique winery based in Corinth on the Peloponnese, of course, quite close to the famous Corinth Canal. The history of the winery dates back about 100 years, but in 96, the old winery burned down, and Mr. Michalis Yannikos, he made a new one there in Corinth, where we also have a part of our vineyards. The other part is still at the old place in Mykines, that is a little bit in the direction to Nafplio. We have 8 hectares of vines. We cultivate Greek varieties such as Malagousia, Rhoditis, Ayurvedico, and Avostiatis, but also international varieties such as Viognier, Chardonnay, Merlot, and Cabernet Sauvignon. We believe that a good wine, it comes from healthy and natural wine, so that's why we produce strictly organic since 2005, and according, of course, to the European regulation. We only produce single varietal wines because we want to focus on the characteristic that each grape variety has, the aromatic profile, the tannins, the acidity, and all the other components. For us, this is a more pure approach, and we are convinced that this way we can give each grape variety all the attention that it deserves and show our passion for quality. We are an export-oriented winery. We are currently exporting 80% of our production to countries all over the world, from Switzerland to South Korea, but we don't have someone in Poland yet. So it's your chance after the tasting. All our wines, they have been awarded several times at international wine competitions. So, yeah, that's about the winery. Of course, we are open for wine tourism when the situation allows it, so you are all very welcome to the winery next time you are coming to Greece. Okay, I think we go to the first wine. What is the future of growing foreign varieties for your region? For example, we see, 1 second, I see a question here. Gewürztraminer. So what I can say for our winery is that we see that the market is asking a lot of Greek varieties. We have much more success with the indigenous varieties than with the international varieties. This goes for the export market, but of course it is always interesting to experiment. This is from our side. Maybe Manolis can say more to that question that I see here. Okay, let's go to that first wine. It is called at sea, emplo in Greek. At sea, it means emplo, it means on board at sea. It's a nautical term. That's why also it has a boat up on it. You know, Greece is surrounded by sea, so that's why this label is a homage actually to the Mediterranean Sea. It is made of the grape variety Rhoditis, the same that we had before with Panayotis from Tetramisos. As Panayiotis said, Rhoditis is one of the most widely planted grape varieties in Greece, and you can find all the styles and all the quality levels of wines from this variety. What we do, we hand pick and hand sort the grapes. We make cold maceration in order to keep the aromatic profile longer going, and then in fermentation in stainless steel tanks. I think we will start to taste it. So, as we can see, it has a pale lemon color. It is intensely aromatic. It has fresh hints of grapefruit. It has melon. Of course, it has lemon a lot. It has a very crisp acidity, long aftertaste. So, about food pairing, we believe we make that wine actually to be that you can drink. It's a wine that you can drink with your friends in the afternoon, in the evening on your balcony you don't need any food. It's just a nice bottle to open and to drink it and have a good talk. This is the idea for that wine. Of course, you can pair it with sushi, with grilled shrimps, with fresh fishes. That always goes. But the idea behind that, it's a wine made to drink with friends, one or even two bottles. So that's about it for the first tasting from my side.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And yeah, and the price, ex-seller price of this wine, if I remember well, is €5.40. Yeah?
Exactly, that's correct.
And you're from our part of Europe, I believe.
Yes, I'm from Switzerland.
You're from Switzerland. Okay.
I'm from Switzerland, yes.
Ah.
But I am married to a Greek woman.
Good.
So that's why I live in Greece now. And it was a very good choice in my life.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah, that's good. Great. So come back to us soon, and stay if there are any questions on the chat. Right?
Okay.
Thank you. And now Konstantina and Spiropoulos. Ktima Spiropoulos and Konstantina. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah. Please.
I'm Konstantina Spiropoulou. As you can see, I am the winemaker of Ktima Spiropoulos. I just, the last 1 year, it was when I started working in the state. So I'm a new one in the wine business. I am a food microbiologist and agronomist. And now I'm working for the state. I'm the chief winemaker. So some basic data about the winery. It is a family-owned winery. It was established in 1987. The first vinification was in 1991. We have integrated production. We have family-owned vineyards and 2 wineries in the 2 main PDO areas in Peloponnese, in Nemea and in Mantinia. And we are very committed to the organic cultivation. We cultivate our vineyards organically from 1993. These are our 2 wineries. As I told you, we have one in the center of PDO Mantinia, near to the ancient Temple of Mantinia. And the second one is in Nemea, close again to the ancient Temple of Nemea. So even if I took control of the company just a year ago, I still carry the same values that my father and my brother had. That means passion for bottled and high quality wine, integrated development, production units that introduced the concept of wineries open to public for visiting. investing in green varieties, and especially to Moscofilero, where Spiropoulos family was a pioneer in its promotion. Of course, organic viticulture, this is one of our main issues, and development centered on local society and economy. The new era, after I took over the winery, it is, first of all, it's upgrading and upscaling of our vineyards, upgrading the quality of the wines produced with new wine consultants. Special attention was in creating great wines, both from Nemea and Mantinia, active promotion and marketing potential, further development of wine tourism, even if the Mantinia winery was one of the first in Peloponnese that was expected, that welcomed guests, and modernization of the image and the products of Ktima Spiropoulos. So we have the same products as in 1991 in our first vinification, but now in a new, fresh image. So some things about Mantinia Winery. As I told you earlier, the winery is located in the heart of Arcadia. It is Arcadia is it's in the middle of Peloponnesus. In the Polyampelus Mantinia, as Pausanias has described it in his ancient text, in an altitude of 1627 meters. Just few hundred yards from the ancient walls marking the theater of the ancient city. It was designed in 1977, and as you can see, it has an old Arcadian tower as the main characteristic of the winery. So our main installation and our offices are located in this location. So Mantinia Winery is our main, and as you can see from the photo, just around the winery, we have the vineyards of Moscofilero, some of the vineyards of Moscofilero. Some pictures from the winery inside, just to have a small look on that. And now about Nemea Winery. As I told you, the Nemea Winery is located very close to the ancient Nemea. It is in an altitude ranging from 385 to 406 meters. It was built in 2006, and its first winemaking operation took place in 2007. The full design of this winery was in mind to take advantage of its highly touristic location. It is very close to the main street that leads from Athens to Peloponnesus, first in Tripolis and then to Kalamata. So it is very easy for everybody to visit and take a tour in this winery. Some pictures again from inside the winery in Nemea. Here we have mainly our barrels, so our cava is located in the Nemea winery. And something about our vineyards. As I told you, we have vineyards both in Mantinia and in Nemea. On your left side, you can see some pictures from our Mantinia vineyards, mainly by Moscofilero. And on the right side, you can see vineyards in Nemea, mainly Agorgitico and Syrah. Some facts about the vineyards, in Mantinia vineyards, it's organically cultivated from 1993. We mainly cultivate Moscofilero. This is the main variety from Mantinia. This is a variety that we have, PDO Mantinia, which is going to be the first wine that you are going to try from my winery. But we also cultivate Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Syrah, Sauvignon Blanc, and Chardonnay, and we use them in several blends in our wines. The plant age in majority is around 20 years. We have some very new and we have some very old, but about 20 years is the variant. The subject that we use is 110 Richter. The soils are clay loam and clay with neutral pH. And about 150 more stremata, we use them, we organically cultivate them, but with long-term contracts. Some facts about Nemea vineyards, again organically cultivated from 2004, where we bought the area that the new winery is located. We have mainly Agorgitico. Agorgitico is the main variety for PDO Nemea. PDO Nemea is the second wine that we are going to try, our red wine. The plant ages, as you can see, it is relatively young. The same subject, we have clay soils with high calcium carbonate content, and about 60 stremata, we have them in long-term cooperation in organic cultivation. This is our products. We have a variety of several products, but the main varieties that we use is Agorgitico and Moscofilero. So in our wines, in our lines, you can see mainly wines that they have as main variety, Moscofilero from one side and Agorgitico from the other side. PDO Mantinia Actima Spiropoulos. This is the first wine that you are going to taste. This is our bottle in our vineyard in Agorgitica Mantinias. And this is a technical suite. So if you have already opened it, you will see that Mantinia, it is very famous of its gray shade. So it is a white wine, but since the variety, the skin of the variety is reddish, you expect to find a gray shades in the wine. It is a wine with high acidity. This one that you are tasting has 6.3 grams per liter. And as you can taste it, you can see rose aromas, you can see bergamot, you can see lemon, and several other fresh aromas. So the way that we are making this wine is by a short grape pulp cryo extraction. We have dedicated machinery for this, and very fast we managed to diminish the temperature of the grapes. Just to let you know that in Mantinia, we have one of the most late harvest in Greece. That means that the harvest is about at the beginning and middle October each year. So this is for the first wine. Hopefully you enjoy it, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have in the later. Thank you, Piotr.
Thank you very much. Really nice acidity in the.
Yes.
Yes, and so the harvest is really late. Yeah.
Yes, it is very late. It is very late. It is, I think, with Amindeo, it's one of the most late harvests in Greece.
Okay, and the price of this wine, you don't have an importer?
We don't have an importer. It is for Mantinia, it's 5.2, 5 euros 20.
5.2 or 5.2 or 5.4. Right. Okay. 5.2. Okay. Thank you very much.
See you in a while. Thank you.
See you. Stay with us, please. Okay. And now this is Dimitris and Nicolaou. Nicolaou, hello, Dimitris. Winery Nicolaou. Are we going too fast, or is this is for the Polish attendees question? Are we going too fast? Reply on chat. Or the second part will be faster. Be aware of that. Hello, Dimitris. We can't hear you. No. I can't hear you. Try again with the microphone. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Now it's okay?
Yes, it's okay. Yes, okay. So the floor is.
Good afternoon. I'm coming from Nicolaou family winery, Nicolaou Estate. We are a family that started cultivating Agorgitico mainly in the region of Nemea, one of the largest PDO zones in Greece. Since 1936, my grandfather bought some vineyards in the region of Duramani. Hello? Can you hear me? And in the 70s, my father started studying enology in Bordeaux, and then came back in Greece and started established the Nicolaou Estate Winery, which operates since 1984. Since 1999, we are fully organic, and nowadays we are producing Αγιοργίτικο, Μοσχοφίλερο, Malagousia, Assyrtiko, and some foreign varieties. Today you will taste Moscofilero Nicolaou, which comes from the vineyard of the region of Mantinia. The vines are 60 years old and planted in the late 70s. Very low production, very low production. And as everybody said, for Moscofilero, you can see gray tints, maybe some light yellow color. And because of the low yeast, we have a very complex character, high acidity, and flavors of rose flowers, orange, and a lemon tree taste with a very strong aftertaste.
Okay, that was really fast. Thank you very much, and stay with us for the second part. And the price for this wine is €2.80. Yes.
Yes, of course.
€2.80. Okay, thank you very much. And now the second Moscofilero. The second Moscofilero from Mouropoulos, and Lefteris. Hello, Lefteris, Mouropoulos. Lefteris, hello, Mouropoulos. Yes, Manolis, thank you very much. Mouropoulos. It's difficult. Lefteris, hello. It's not yet the time, the joke time. Yeah, Lefteris. No, Manolis, hello.
I have a difficult surname, Yamniadakis, so please don't pronounce it. Sometimes it means something bad in Greek, so just leave it on Manolis. So I fully understand the difficulty of the Greek names. Now I'll let you to Lefteris.
Okay, Lefteris is here. Lefteris is with us. Hello, Lefteris. And do you hear us? No, I can't hear you. Turn on the microphone, please. No, not yet. No, Lefteris. Still no. The microphone. Click on the microphone. Perhaps it's still red. The icon of the microphone. Yeah, and make it louder, the voice. One. No, it's still deactivated. Your microphone is still off. Can't hear you. Yeah. Under my face, below my face, below the screen, there is a microphone icon. Click on it, please. Make it green. It's red, the microphone.
Lefteris, if you cannot find it, just maybe Piotr, we
can
take it away and then give him access again.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now it's Demetris from Troupis, right? If you're with us, Demetris, and the wine named Tommy, which is written in Greek in your tasting charts.
Okay. Hello.
Hello. Yes, we hear you, we see you, and now you're saving the word. So the floor is yours. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, a short story about the winery. We started at 2010. My name is Dimitris Krivos, of course. I'm the enologist of the winery. We started at 2010. We used an old warehouse of the grandfather of the father of Yannis Troupis, who used it for storing apples. We painted, we put some tanks inside it, so we started slowly to produce some wine. Since then, we have gone a long way. As you can see in the presentation, we have almost completed our winery, as you can see in the first photo. And some things about Mantinia. Mantinia, it's in the center of Peloponnese. It's on a plateau at an altitude of 640 meters up to 740 meters. The location of the winery is at Phteri. Phteri in English means fern. It used to have a lot of ferns around here in this area because it has an acidic soil. So there, the circle, you can see the Phteri area. And today, some more things about Moscophyllera I would like to show you. In the next slide, please. Here is a picture of the plateau of Mantinia. You can see it's about 500 hectares. This is a picture during the harvest. And then some things about Moscophyllera. Moscophyllera is a gray-skinned variety, so it has some pigments. This is actually a very dark picture, a picture of very dark Moscophyllera. But you can also find various clones of Moscophyllera. I mean, there's a clone that has that's more blonde clone or a dark clone. From each clone, you can produce different wines. I mean, from a dark skin clone, you would produce excellent rosé wines. From a light pink, light color clone, you would produce excellent sparkling wine or white wine. So next slide, please. Okay, this is a smaller range of our wines. Tommy, you're going to taste later is our flagship wine. It's PDO Mantinia. And two more wines that we produce from Moscophyllera. We're not going to taste them tonight. Just to point that you can produce from Moscophyllera various wines, different qualities, just because of the different pigments it has on its skin. Next slide, please. Okay, here you can see clearly some different batches of different clones of Moscophyllera. These are taken the same day. This is a photo. It's they are taken from the belt, the conveyor belt where we choose the berries at the exact same hour. So you can see the dark skin Moscophyllera is perfect for rosé wines. The light color Moscophyllera is mostly for producing white wines. So we have two wines. This is PDO Mantinia Tommy Moscophyllera. This is made exclusively from our own vineyards, where we have a low yield. We have around 10 hectares of 9 hectares of Moscophyllera, 1 more hectare of Assyrtiko. So this Tommy Mantinia comes from our own vineyard. where we try to keep a low yield because Moscovillero tends to produce a lot of bunches and grapes. And with Tomi, first of all, we try to, as I say in the technical sheet, we try to overturn the point, the established view that wines do not age. Actually, we think that Moscovillero, due to its low pH and the high altitude it's produced, the grapes are produced in high altitude, you can easily age it for at least 5 years. The vinification method generally in our winery is we try to do the necessary things, just to say that. So it's PDO Madinia is 65 free run and 35 of 10-hour maceration. The flavors you can taste, usually you can taste flavors typical of Moscovillero, rose petals, citrus flavors, and even some white peach. And due to its high acidity, natural acidity, of course, and low pH, you can perfectly pair it with fish, grilled fish. And then we have the next slide, please, the rosé, the Tomi rosé. Tomi, it's 100% Moscovillero. Tomi in Greece, in Greek, means the.
This is you come back with the rosé later.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You remember?
Yes. It's perfect.
Okay.
It's Tomi rosé. Tomi in Greece, in Greek language, means golden section. So it's something like to make something innovative. So we thought of it was kind of innovation to make a rosé of Moscovillero, of 100% Moscovillero. To my opinion, producing a rosé wine from Moscovillero has an advantage because, with all this trend with Provence rosé wines, they are usually produced by red varieties. But so you get a lot of you don't do any maceration, so as to take no color at all, to have a light rosé, but you also take no aroma, no flavor. With Moscovillero, because it is a grape variety, I mean, it has some pigments, but not so much, you can leave it for many hours so as to have some color, the color you are seeing, but also to have a full flavor. Here you can see the expression of the full expression of the variety. So as you can see, it's 20-hour maceration, excuse me, fermentation in low temperature, and it has a different aromatic profile, apricots, red apples, and of course the very typical flavor of Moscovillero, which is the rose petals.
Sorry to interrupt you, but this is you will come back with this rosé in a while. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's come back to another Moscovillero if Lefteris is with us, and then you will be back and with the other rosés, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anyway, you saved the word because if not, there is. I had to tell the jokes, and it's not the time for the jokes yet. Okay, so thank you very much, and stay with us, please. It was and Lefteris. Yes, do we hear you? I don't. Well, there is some connection problem, I think.
I can hear you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can hear you, but not very well. And the others, do you hear Lefteris? I don't think that. it was pretty good 1 hour ago. It's a question of a wire or something, perhaps. Yeah, come back with the phone. Yes. So, okay, so we take another winery right now, and you come back with the phone in 3 minutes. Okay, perfect. Right. So see you soon with the phone. Right. So perhaps Malaguzia now and Ktimakisa. And another Dimitris. Dimitris from Ktimakisa. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Great.
Perfect.
So I'm Dimitris Kissas. I am the winemaker and owner of Ktimakisa. So yeah, a few words about our winery. We are located in the Mignon, near Corinth. It's about an hour drive from Athens. The winery was founded back at 1949 by my grandpa, also Dimitris, another Dimitris. And it's one of the few Greek companies of any sector that continuously run and work for more than 50 years. And it's been awarded for innovation and social contribution by the Chamber of Commerce of Corinth. My father, George, is the second generation. He was the one that grew the winery and laid the foundations of what the winery is today. I'm the third generation. I took over back in 2019. If you can go to the last picture, to the previous slide, you can see my dad George next to the basket press in this old photo. So yeah, I'm the third generation. I started at 2019 after trained as a chemical engineer and enologist in the University of California in Davis. So Ktima means vineyard in Greek, just to answer the question really quick. And after working in USA, Australia, and also Greece, I took over the winery. So to the next slide, talking about our vineyards, which is our most precious asset. We invested in high elevation vineyards, which are dry farmed, and they start at an elevation of 750 meters and they go around 900 meters. We believe that due to the global warming, we should invest in cooler regions in Greece in order to preserve freshness, acidity, and aromas. So what's special about the location is, as other people talked about, our neighbors in Aegio, is that we're 20 minutes drive to the sea level, to the Corinthian Gulf. So the vines are protected from the hot south winds by the mountains of Syria and the Black Mountain. Also, the vines are chilled from the cool north winds coming from the Corinthian Gulf. That results in a big temperature difference between day and night, which prolongs maturation and preserves acidity and freshness and aromas of our wines. So we currently cultivate around 20 hectares, and all our new vineyards are certified organic. We cultivate Savatiano, Malaguzia, Moscofilero, a little bit of Muscat Blanc and Chardonnay from the whites, and we also cultivate from reds, Pinot Noir and Agorgitico. In our winemaking, we aim for purity and balance, and we try to make wines, to produce wines that are true to the place and the variety. That's why oral labels are having those, sometimes have some of those weird names that they have something to do with the place of origin. So following those principles, we produce wines that are lower in alcohol, they're higher in acidity. They usually have fresher than riper fruit, and we don't use any new oak in our reds or white. So let's go to the next slide and start talking about the first wine. So this wine is called Mavrioros. It's 100% single vineyard Malagousia. So the Malagousia is dry farmed on rocky, loamy soils at 800 meters on the slopes of the Black Mountain. Black Mountain in Greek is called Mavrioros by the locals. And so Mavrioros, the name is also the name of the wine, and it's a tribute to the place of origin. So as for our winemaking techniques, we hand-pick the grapes, and then we press whole clusters in order to preserve acidity. So we make a Malagousia that it's high in acidity, which also allow us to just use the minimum amount of SO2 of sulfites. So we ferment in stainless steel in lower temperatures. And after that, the wine matures on its fine lees for around 3 months. So going to taste the wine, on the nose, you get an expressive aroma of stone fruits mostly, accompanied with some botanical notes and a little bit, I get some hints of jasmine most of the time. In the mouth, you get this lively acidity, and you have this medium body with a long lime aftertaste. So that's all about the first wine. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Dimitris. And come back, please.
Yes, of course.
Soon. Okay. Thank you. The price of your wine is, if I see, it's €4.92. Yeah.
€4.92. Yes, correct.
Ex-seller price €4.92.
Yes.
Good. Good. I like it. Okay. So thank you very much. And Lefteris, are you with us? Lefteris. Lefteris. Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm so sorry for that. But we did the test. I mean, I didn't say it's in place at the end, so it was working before, and now not.
Okay.
Sorry for everybody for this inconvenience.
Okay, that's fine. So start, please. And
okay. Yes, just the first page, just for the introduction, if it's possible to see the first page of the presentation. So thank you for the invitation, and thanks everyone for the participation. I'm here to guide you to Madinia region and Moropoulos winery. I'm Lefteris Anagnostou, and I am the winemaker of the winery. Sorry again for this inconvenience, and I hope that you will enjoy the presentation and the wine. Next. So the region of, just a brief presentation for the area. The region of Madinia is on the central Peloponnese. It's a plateau and has been surrounding from mountains, big mountains. So the vineyards are on the plateau, mainly on the plateau, and generally in a high altitude, approximately 600 meters. It has been proven that the region has some historical links and history, and it has been findings to the ancient Arcadia, and there's a really interesting region. The climate is one of the coldest on Greece, and it is one of the coldest Greek wine-grown region. We can say that it's more continental than Mediterranean, despite the lower latitude and the proximity to the sea. The sea is around 30 kilometers away from the zone. That it's really for the vine growing is that the huge difference between the temperature from the day and the night. So especially in the summer, there are a lot of hot days and really cold nights, and that helps a lot to maintain the acidity and have this specific freshness on the final wine. When we say Madinia, we mean Moscofilero. It's it has been there's a color on the skins. It's considered to be a pink variety. There are clones with less, and there are some other clones with more reddish hue on the skins. It's late ripening varieties, a variety that it's late ripening, and usually it's the last vintage, the last harvest that we do in Greece. It's on the beginning of October, and, or sometimes even in mid-October. I forgot to say that there are a lot of rainfalls on the area, and there are also sometimes some storms during the summer and during September that can affect the quality of the vintage. Moscofilero has identical character. It's rich in terpenes, and the typical aromas are rose, marzipan, and quince for the main plateau, the vines that they are on the main plateau. And there are some other aromas like more exotic, like lychee and citrus, that we find on the vineyards that they are on the foothills. Next. Just a few words for the winery. Moropoulos family. Moropoulos family has a long tradition to the production. I'm not sure if you hear me well. I hope so. Moropoulos family has a long tradition to the fruit production, and they produce qualitative fruit for the last decade. The new generation of the family, sister and brother and sister Kostas and Georgia, have decided to move a step forward the family heritage. So they transformed the old familial cereal warehouse to a vinification scene that has been founded in 2015. That was the first vintage, and it was like an experimental vintage. But since then, they didn't grow a lot, and they are still in a small scale production. Concerning the vineyards, are 12 hectares totally, mainly in high altitude, like 680 meters and sometimes more than 700 meters, mainly on the foothills of the mountains. The soil are rocky clay and loamy soils, and due to the fact that they are on foothills, they are usually well-drained soils. A big part of the cultivation has been certified organic since many years. The philosophy of the production and the winery is for me personally, I believe that it's the definition of a boutique winery, of a Greek boutique winery. It's a family, there are a young generation that they cultivate their own grapes, and they do a significant effort to express their heritage and their soils. So still today, there has been done a steady development, and still today the production it's on a small scale production. We select some plots and some specific patches in order to vinify, in order to estimate the potential of each of the parcels. That's approximately the axis of the production. Concerning the wines, there are only two labels, 100% both of them on Moscofilero, and the total annual production is around 25 bottles per vintage. The goal is to express the variety, the character of the vineyard, and express also the respect to the Arcadian land. So concerning the first wine, it's a PDO Madinia. It's a blend of parcellar selection. There are some small vinification, and at the end, it's the final blend, and has been vinified and matured on stainless steel. There is a lees aging for approximately 7 to 8 months, and the goal here is to have a more gastronomical expression of this variety with balance given by the lead steering, and try to give a longer aging potential to Moscofilero, because usually it's considered to be like a more easy drinking wine. It's not that case. We believe strongly at their ability to age, because as you can see on the testing, on the technical sheet, the pH is very low, and at the same time the acidity is enough high to have a nice evolution and a nice development after some years. That's all I think for the first wine, and we will be back for the rosé, right?
Yeah, thank you very much. And the XLR price of this wine is €4.90.
Yes, that's the export seller price. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy you made it.
Yeah, finally, and I'm so sorry for that.
Don't be. Okay. Thank you, Lefteris. And now number 9, and Rira Winery and Evie. Yes, Evie. Hello, Evie. And yeah, I think it's hello, Evie.
Just a moment, please.
Okay, take your time. So this is Gewürztraminer. There was a question about Gewürztraminer. Yeah, the break will be held. Will be one wine from now, after Tetramitos, the second wine of Tetramitos. Czyli przerwa będzie za jedno wino od teraz.
Just a moment, please.
Okay, take your time.
We have a small technical issue here.
All right.
Okay.
Are
we okay?
Yes, we can see you, we can hear you. So now it's your time.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Evie. I represent Rira Winery. Rira is a family winery in the heart of viticultural zone of the slopes of Aegialia, North Peloponnese. On the map, you can find us exactly where the red spot is, almost in the middle of Greece. Our linear vineyard covers a surface of 25 hectares. It was planted in 2006 at 400 meters of altitude above the Corinthian Gulf, on a hill so-called Rira, from where the name of the winery came. 15 indigenous and international grape varieties are cultivated in the vineyard, and 2010 was the year of our first vinifications. The winery is located on the old National Road Athens-Patras, underneath the vineyard, with a capacity of 150,000 liters at the moment and potential of extension. And we pass directly to our first wine for today, our single varietal Coryphée. Coryphée means the top dancer of the ballet. The grape variety is Gewürztraminer, and the vintage is 2019, a year with very stable weather conditions during the summer and harvest time. On the photo of the vineyard, Gewürztraminer is planted on the half right side of the big vineyard plot at the top. The vinification process has to be very delicate, as Gewürztraminer is a reddish grape when it is mature, and color substances is something we don't want to have here. Maybe we will have a rosé Gewürztraminer in the future, we don't know. Anyway, the result of all our effort is what we call the Mediterranean expression of Gewürztraminer. On the olfactory palette, we are detecting exotic fruit aromas, a variety of citrus fruits and citrus blossoms, quince and sweet bergamot, together with spicy notes and strong minerality. You can see there is a sense of crustaceans. Here to notice that minerality is not only typical of the variety, but also is one of the main characteristics of the region, and we find it in the most of the wines produced here. In the mouth, we have a very fresh first impression, as the carbon dioxide is present and makes the wine vivid. But right after, we get a sense of fulfillment and volume due to the rich and round mouth feeling that ends to a long-lasting metallic and fruity aftertaste. 2 words about aging potential. Coryphée as a Gewürztraminer wine has an aging potential of at least 4 to 5 years, as it needs time to fully develop its aromatic palette. We recently tasted the vintage of 2016. The wine was really excellent. Just before we end, it is well known that Gewürztraminer makes perfect match with Asian cuisine and sushi. We couldn't agree more. Also, lemon dishes, fish, seafood, green salads, green and white fruit salads, pork with lemon sauce, salmon will do just fine. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you. This is perhaps the first Gewürztraminer from Greece I ever tasted. And tell me, it's when it's on sur lit, how often you make the bâtonnage?
There is no bâtonnage at all. There is a maintenance surely for 2, 3, 4, or 5 months.
No bâtonnage at all?
No. The wine remains surely after the end, starting from the end of vinification until it is bottled.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much, Evie, and please come back. Please come back with your another wine. And now, yes, for the first time, we come back to the first wine. We take the second wine, the first winery, Tetramitos. And yes, hello, Panagiotis. Hi. And your Retsina. And after, we will have a break. So, Panagiotis.
Hello again. The second white wine from Tetramitos winery. It's also produced from Rhoditis grape variety, but in a different style of vinification. It's a Retsina wine. Maybe a few of the attendants are not familiar with the Retsina wine, but Retsina is one of the 6 European Union wines with traditional designation. It's an historical wine produced from the antiquity with addition of pine resin to the grape must during the alcoholic fermentation. Retsina Tetramitos, it's a probably the only terroir-driven Recina, meaning that both of the main parameters of this wine, not only grapes, but also pine resin, is collected from pine trees which are surrounding the vineyard. So both main things are coming from the same place. And we want to capture this sense of place to this wine. Produced also from single vineyard Rhodithes in high altitudes, bush vines, 25% uncrafted. The soil is clay and limestone. The alcoholic fermentation takes place in clay amphoras. We add the pine resin with a tea bag in every amphora. The addition is modest to high, about 1 kilo of pine resin per 1,000 liters of grape mast. Probably if Piotr changed the photo, you can see an amphora with Rhodithes fermentation inside. It's a wine that breaks all the stereotypes of this historical wine. You can see the amphora, which is a family amphora, more than 600 years old, still in action, producing by far the more quality Recina from the new style amphoras. So the pine resin remains in the amphoras until the end of the malolactic fermentation. Then we blend the wine, and after a couple of months, it's bottled unfiltered with just a small addition of sulfur. As I started to tell a few minutes ago, it's a wine that breaks all the stereotypes about the Recina's reputation. It's a wine in many Michelin star awarded restaurants worldwide in their wine list. It has a great success in Poland as well. In the nose, it's a combination of the typical flavors of Rhodithes plus a fresh and vibrant sense of pine resin, very elegant and subtle. And in the mouthfeel, we can see again, we meet the lemony zesty character of Rhodithes, the vibrant acidity, and the nice earthy hints from the amphora influence. It's a very gastronomic wine, ideal food pairing for many difficult food pairings. You can drink it now, but of course you can keep it for at least a decade with a fantastic evolution year by year. The inspiration for making this wine, which is a dedication to the continuous historical winemaking process in our region, is that we cultivate grapes, family vineyards for centuries in places with the name Pithos or Pithari, which is an ancient name for the amphora. Still now you can find parcels of broken amphoras in these vineyards. So we create this wine, having an inspiration from the continuing history and of course the great future of our region. And in general terms, as a winery which export more than 88 of its production to 20 countries, the inspiration and the innovation is based to the tradition. Okay, I'm finished. let's go to the break.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And the new generation is there also. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Stay with us, please. And now, Manolis, please join us. Manolis. Yamniadakis. Manolis. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Thank you for pronouncing very good my name.
Thank you very much. Very kind. Okay.
Yotis, thank you. Well, I'm glad that we finished with the white wines for the second time, and I like to see more and more questions about that. I'll tell you a story how it becomes with the foreign grape varieties, because when we said the other time we were occupied for 400 years by the Turks, the Ottoman Empire at that time, that stops in Vienna the invasion. While doing that under the Turks, because there were Muslims, they halted the winemaking as an alcoholic drink because they were not allowed by their religion. And that stopped a lot of the progress of the winemaking in Greece. Back in 1970, after the Second World War, there were rich people, Greeks, that they drinking good wines outside of Greece, and they wanted to show the people that we can produce really, really good wines. And then some of them, they say, oh, we'll take some famous French grape varieties and we plant them here and we produce really good wines. So in northern Greece, in Peloponnese, or in other places of Greece, in Epirus, they produced grape wines from Cabernet Sauvignon or Chardonnay. And because at the beginning they couldn't sell it outside because the people were afraid of Greek wine. They didn't know, so they were afraid to buy them. They started to put names just like Chateau Caras, Chateau Semeli, and other names, using French, even French style on the label, to make them more friendly, more to the people. And it was astonished that they were having great prices in contests outside of the world. And when they see, for example, Chateau Caras, and then they turn out the bottle and they see produced in Greece, and they were all amazed. And that was a start for Greek wines. Then we passed quickly to the Greek grape varieties, which was an innovation for the world. Last time we talked that we have more than 300 indigenous grape varieties, and some of them you see them here. And now some of our producers producing some different grape varieties, ABC, anything but Cabernet, anything but Chardonnay, just like Gewürztraminer that you see from Riras, because they have the high altitude, because they have the climate different and not so hot and warm as they think that we are in Greece, and the potential to make great wines from even foreign grape varieties. So today we have tasted a lot of variation of Moscophyllero, as you said, as we will see, and Rhoditis, and one Gewürztraminer. And that shows what Peloponnese is, a variation of terroirs and climate that you can produce too many grape varieties, and you can taste a different wine each day of your life.
Speaking of the climate, do you observe on Peloponnese that the vineyards are going higher and higher with the years?
That's right. For example, Mantinia and Aegialia are plateaus that are already high. Still moving we are, because of also for the climate change, we are moving up, but still there are places just like Ilia, which is close to the ancient Libya, that they produce wines close to the sea. And because it's very fertile there, a different soil and climate, and produce more warm wines.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, the questions on the chat, and yeah, yes, I take time to recall to all of you, all of the attendees, to shot some photographs, because this very friendly Manolis will become very angry Manolis if I do not deliver the photos. So please do the photos and yeah, save my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I'm angry with myself, I save my hair too. So I want to see all of you. I want to see your face, because we are, as Peloponnese Association, we are now focusing on the Poland market, and we want to do more, starting with these two wine tasting. And let's hope we can do more, either come to you or you come to us. We'll find a way to introduce you more and more of the wealth of Peloponnese wineries and wine.
Sounds great. I like the idea. Okay. Do we have any questions here, or?
For the tourism, the wine tourism, please visit the Peloponnese wine roads. Also, we have an application which is Peloponnese wineries, that you can see wineries that you can visit, and we will upgrade it, both of them in a short while, to find more. Greece, it's a touristic country, too many people coming here, and for the last 5 to 7 years, the gastro-tourism is increasing highly. It's a very demanding now tourism that's coming to Greece, not only because of the wines, because they find something that you mostly cannot find it elsewhere, but also because of the food. We have a lot of high-end restaurants, not only in Athens, but in Peloponnese and in the islands, that you can taste really amazing food. But as they say in Greece, you can eat very well even in the taverna next corner from your stay.
There's a question about the sparklings. Some words about the sparkling.
We have sparkling. Let's hope that in the next wine tasting we will have. We have some wineries here that produce sparkling. Today we have Spiropoulos winery that produces sparkling wine. The other time we have Telepos that produces sparkling wine, and we have more coming. Cavino also produces sparkling wine. We have about 6 to 7 producers that produces sparkling wine that have been sold mainly outside of Greece.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I think we can come back. Another question. Our Greeks are more keen in traditional methods.
Well, talking about sparkling, method traditionnel and second fermentation in the tank, it's 2 different styles. It depends what style you want to give to your wine. We have producers using the method traditionnel. We have producers making the second fermentation in the tank, depending the freshness that you want to give, the aroma, and no matter what the fermentation takes place, either in the bottle or in the tank, Moscofilero gives very good results because it's very aromatic. So you don't only have the aromas of the second fermentation, but you have a lot of floral aromas that makes it more refreshing.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think we should go to another wine. Yeah, and please come back at the end, Manolis. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now another Dimitris from Trupis Winery. Hello. So the rosé, we start with the rosé and the reds, and now will be Hello, Dimitri.
Hello.
Yeah. So let me ask you the question. Very fancy bottles. It's the first time I saw these bottles like that. Where
we buy them from France.
Ah.
Yes, directly from France.
Okay.
I'm glad that you like it.
Yeah, it's impressive, I think. Okay, so it's your time.
Yes, we were at the rosé. Okay, what I was talking about is, there's this new trend of Provence rosé wine, this light color rosé wines. And to my opinion, Moscofiliero has a great advantage because you get to have a lot of maceration. So you extract a lot of flavors, but you don't get so much color. So you can produce this trendy light rosé wine. I mean, you couldn't have it otherwise. I mean, if you wanted to produce a dark rosé, it would be very difficult. You need a very low, extremely low yield, perfect health for the berries, high alcohol, etc. Anyway, when you have a rosé wine, you see the full expression of the aromas of Moscofiliero. You can smell red apple. You can smell, of course, rose petals, which is a very characteristic aroma of Moscofiliero, and Turkish delight. We call it lukumi in Greek. And because of its original character, you can pair it with some dishes that you can't usually with another rosé or a white wine, like pizza, like fish with tomato sauce, or any food with tomato sauce, or even Chinese cuisine. And okay, that's all for rosé. I just want to show you some more pictures of our winery. If you could go to the next slide. Here is some we were mentioned in the New York Times about some other wines of us, and then if you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, this is a picture of the winery. You can see the vineyard. In front of it is our Fteri vineyard. It's where our estate is. And then this is the founder of the winery, the late Tassos Troupis, who is the father of Yanni and his sister Panayota Troupis, selecting the grapes from the conveyor belt during the harvest of Moscofiliero. Yes, here in Madinia we have the climate is quite different from the rest of Greece. I mean, because it's a high plateau, we have usually very, very cold winters. And it's very often that we get a lot of snow. You can see temperatures even low, below zero. It's quite common to have temperatures below zero during the winter. And in Greece, Tripoli, which is the town near Madinia, inside Madinia, is a town where we have the biggest difference of temperatures during the summer. I mean, you can easily have 35 degrees during the summer day, and then it goes down to 10 degrees Celsius. during the summer night. So this, preserves the acidity and the flavor of Moscofilero. And okay, we also experiment and we'll buy some more concrete tanks, which give a quite different flavor and affair on the wines, on all of the wines, and especially Moscofilero. And here's how we started in 2010, the old apple warehouse of father of Yanis Troupis, and then slowly we expanded, and 2015, this is how the winery it is right now, which is you can do some tasting, and it's open to visitors all through all the year. We make several experiments with the plantation of Moscofilero. I mean, it was very common to plant the rootstock of Richter 110 because it has a very big resistance to drought. But on the other hand, it produces a lot of grapes. So we tried to make some experiments with the new rootstocks. We have half a hectare with 5 different rootstocks, and all of our new plantations, we use the knowledge of the experiment for our new plantations to pick the proper rootstock. And some more photos you can see here of the winery around the vineyard. Thank you very much for hosting us.
Thank you very much, and please stay with us.
Of course.
Thank you. And the price of this wine is, if I remember well, 4.5.
Yes, the XLR for the white PDO Madinia is 4.20, and for the Rosé Tomis 4.50.
50, yeah. 20 and 50, yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now another Dimitris, and the second entrance for Timakissa. Yes. Dimitris, yes. Hello.
Hello, Piotr. Hello, everybody.
Hello again.
Let's go to the next slide with the rosé wine. So the rosé wine for us is actually a new release. We just released it this year. It's our first rosé Moscofilero. It's actually a single block rosé from 100% Moscofilero. We also have a white version of Moscofilero. But the last years we were experimenting with a rosé version, and this specific block gave us what we were looking for. I won't say much more about the Moscofilero and the different clones and the colors. My great colleagues already said a lot about the Moscofilero grape. So about this specific block, the elevation is around 750 meters. With sandy, loamy soils and very high inclinations. Thus, the soils have great drainage, and the vines have just enough water to survive. So, adding the different aspect of the vineyard, we managed to ripe the grapes a little bit more, adding color and having a little bit more rich mouthfeel in the wine, a little bit more than the white version of the Moscofilero. So again, the grapes are hand-picked, they're crushed, destemmed, and then they're macerated for around 18 hours. And after that, we have a fermentation in stainless steel tanks, and then the wine matures with the fine lees with some batonnage for around 3 months before bottling. So tasting the wine, in the nose you get lots of floral aromas typical of Moscofilero. You get a lot of rose petals, and the nose is really intense. The body is medium plus with some good acidity, and a really long floral aftertaste. So I hope you enjoyed this wine. We would love some comments on this wine. It's our first try, so hope you liked it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And the price of this one is 4.2.
4.2, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. I mean, do you hear me?
Yes, Piotr, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
420.
420. Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. Stay with us.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. And now, Manolis, this is Moropoulos. Moropoulos, and let's believe it's Lefteris coming back. Yes, hello.
Yeah, I think this time is everything fine with the connection.
Now it's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the name is Moropoulos. I think everything sounds Greek to you. So yeah, you are going well. Nice pronunciation.
Thank you.
So the second wine is the rosé expression of Moscofilero. It's PGI Arcadia, as the PDO is reserved only for the wines. As Dimitri said before, he gave a lot of details for the region and the approach of rosé technique. It's mainly a recent approach, and most of the wineries just started before some years to produce the rosé expression of Moscofilero. But it's not always easy because it depends from the color that the skins have every vintage. So there are some vintages that it is easier and some other that it's not, and we are obliged to have a long skin contact on pre-fermentation stages in order to get as more as we can color and flavors. So usually it's for us it's like 4 to 5 days on a skin on a cold soak before the fermentation. And it's this wine that you have in your glass. It comes from 2020 vintage. The white was from 2019. I forgot to say that it was a great vintage for the zone, and also the 2020 looks very promising. For the white, we don't want the color, so there is a part that it's whole bunch pressed and a smaller part in skin contact. But for the rosé, all of production comes from a skin contact maceration. We can understand here better the varietal character, as we have a lot of precursors, aromatic precursors that express that distinctive character of Moscofilero, and at the same time, so we have a body that balance the acidity, the high acidity that this variety usually have, and stays fresh for at least 2 years. So we hear that, okay, there is always that kind of roses, that kind of floral aromas, but there are some crunchy cherries, pomegranate, and there is also a pheolic kind of expression of Moscofilero with basil and mint notes. So yeah, you can pair it with a lot of dishes. It has a nice, fresh summertime character with a lot of dishes of Greek, but also with dishes from Asian cuisine, like raw preparation of fish, etc. Yeah, I forgot to say also that we select the clones that they are more reddish hue in order to produce this wine because we need the color to have that kind of light color that it's not easy always to get it on the grapes. I don't know if you want to see some pictures, if there's any other thing to ask, but I'm nice for this day sometime.
Okay, and the price is €4.80.
That's right. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, the excellent price. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for everything.
And stay with us. Stay with us,
Yeah,
please. Thank you. And now Eleni Bluhu, and the first red, as the name states, for is Laura Nera and Eleni. Hello, Eleni. Again.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello again. Could we go back to the presentation on the slide of the wine? It would be easier to have a short story about it.
Okay, give us a second.
Yes, of course. Because after the very nice selection, the next slide. Okay. Perfect. So after the very nice selection of the rosés from Moscofilero, let's go to another Greek variety that starts with an M, and it is called Mavrodaphne, and which actually produces, which is extensively planted in the Peloponnese, but it was mostly characterized of its sweet wines, or the wines that were treated through oak on their dry form. Acheon Winery is the first winery that decided to use Mavrodaphne only in stainless steel, handling very gently and delicately the tannins, which are the most difficult part of the variety to handle, and creating a very fresh, full of red fruits wine, eucalyptus or plum or Greek herbs, that is really the perfect pair to Greek summer. If you want to taste a nice wine that can fit in a warm Greek afternoon in the summer, Laura Nera is the perfect choice. You should pair it with food that has red sauces, where laurel leaves are included in cooking, because this is actually the expression and where the name comes from for this wine. Or you should pair it with food with aubergines or other vegetables that we use in Greece to cook everyday food and treat our daily gastronomy. So in your glass, you find a wine with a deep red color and aromas of Greek herbs, plum or cherries. It is rich in flavor. It has very, very soft tannins. I suggest that you taste it a little chilled, because it is perfect for Greek summer, a little chilled red wine. It follows a red wine vinification process. The wines are refrigerated at 8 degrees for about 48 hours, as you see in the description. There is a short maturation on the skins, and then the malolactic fermentation takes place in the tanks. Mavrodaphne is becoming one of the new trends in Greece. There is a group of wineries that produces and is feeling strong with this variety. And I strongly suggest that you come and taste it in the winery if you have the time to pass by Peloponnese and taste our wines and visit the region. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you for the invitation, and thank you for being with us. And please stay with us for We have still 6 wines more, so stay with us. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Thank you. And now, I believe this is the last Dimitris we meet today. Dimitris and Nicolaou. Here. Dimitris, Nicolaou. Yeah, if you remember this scene from my big Greek wedding, yeah, there was a scene with the Nikis. Hello, Dimitris. So, do you hear me? I do not. No. Now turn your microphone on. Huh? Okay. Dimitri. So your micro is off, your camera is off. Now
it's okay?
Yes, it's okay. I can't see you, but I can hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can't see you.
It's green.
Yeah, it's you. Yes. This is you. Yeah. Anyway, this is Dimitri from Nicolaou, and at least we can hear him. Yes, Dimitri? Or no? No, but no. Okay, come back. Yeah, now we can hear you, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you see now?
Still can't see you. But, well, continue. Continue like that, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Our winery is located in the largest red variety PDO zone of Greece, Nemea. You're tasting a Georgitko 2019. It's an organic wine focusing on the fruit, on the freshness, the spice, and the freshness of the acidity, or the fresh acidity of the wine, of the variety. No oak, and we focusing on just giving a very modern, let's say, side of the famous Greek variety. Low yeast, harvest hand-picked, just like with Moscofilero, wild fermented, and fermentation in steel tanks in low temperature with malolactic fermentation afterwards. And then after some time in steel tanks, we bottle it and give it for you to taste. You can see some a good color, thick, due to high alcohol density, and cherries, marmalade bouquets, and the spicy character I told you with the balanced acidity.
Hello, Dimitri? I believe we lost the connection. Or not? Dimitri? Okay. Perhaps he will come back in a moment. Dimitri?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Now we can hear you. But I'm not sure. Did you finish?
For the convenience, I have a very bad quality connection. Did you hear whatever I said before?
But then it wasn't at the end, I believe. So it's was just okay. Anyway, because I focus on what's going on and not. Well, thank you. I think I think we lost the connection again. Thank you very much. And now Evie and Rira Winery and Teddy Boy. Hello, Evie.
Hello.
Hello.
Here we go again.
Here we go.
Okay, before we pass on Teddy Boy, Piotr, I feel I left you with a question about Batonaz in Gewürztraminer. Okay. So if I may, I will explain why we do not make Batonaz in Gewürztraminer wine. First of all, it's very difficult to have batonage, traditional batonage, in stainless steel tank of 3,000 and 5,000 liters. Plus, we don't want to lose the natural carbon dioxide and the freshness of the wine. But every time the wine is moved for any reason, the total amount of lees are moved together and are completely integrated once more in the whole mass of the wine. And finally, the bottom of the tanks is large enough, so we have, we say, a satisfactory contact surface between lees and the wine. That's it. And we pass on Teddy Boy, our second wine. The words Teddy Boy mean the troublemakers, the restless, untamed youth of 70s, the naughty guys that wanted to make a noise and shake the established order. Here it suggests the unusual character of this red wine. And why do we say unusual? As you can read, the grape variety used is Agorgitiko, an indigenous red vine of central Peloponnese that usually produces big reds, barrel-aged, with long aging potential. In our case, experimenting with the vinification process, we tried to obtain a light, fresh red wine, easy to drink young, but also with the ability to age for 2-3 years or even more. So the grapes were completely desteamed by hand and were put intact in stainless steel tank over small quantity of fermenting substrate, over fermenting mast. Day by day, the grapes are crushed more and more until the time of their separation from the fermented juice. In a few words, we start a nouveau type vinification and we end by a typical red vinification process. So the result is a bright red wine with purple hues, aromas of purple flowers, violet and lilac, fruity aromas of the forest, sweet nose of cherry jam and berry jam, milk and white chocolate praline flavor. Light-bodied wine with low tannin content, easy to drink each time of day, every season. As a fresh and playful red, it makes a good company with red sauce pasta, finger food, burgers, pizzas, pork barbecue, and especially with summer dishes of red sauce meat cooked together with vegetables. Also easy to drink as an aperitif wine. And that's all. Do you have any questions?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
It was a little complicated to me, but I have to read it once again with this traditional and modern vinification of the reds. Yeah, that's.
You are familiar with the macération carbonique process?
Yeah.
The nouveau type vinification.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a type of vinification that starts as a macération carbonique, but ends like a classic red vinification.
Okay, yeah, I see now. Okay, so thank you very much, Evie.
You're welcome.
And stay with us, please. And now the wine number 17. And this is the Cabernet Sauvignon. And this is again Dominique from Yannikos. Hello, Dominique. Hello again. Little Fox. And
hello.
Hello, yeah.
Okay, welcome back. Or I'm back. Okay, let's go on with the tasting of our Little Fox, an organic Cabernet Sauvignon named after the little foxes that roam in our vineyards, along with many other wild animals that live there. With this wine, we want to show the possibilities and complexity that international grape varieties can produce in Greece. The vineyard is located in Mycenae, close to the famous archaeological site, and it's looking over the Argolida and the Argolian Gulf and the city of Nafplio, a beautiful region, also famous for its citrus fruits. It is about 450 to 550 meters above sea level, and the soil is mostly limestones, a little bit sandy, and at the end it is clay, let's say, mostly clay. Like everywhere in Greece, the microclimate is influenced by the sea, with cooling winds in the night, but in the summer, this area, Mycenae, it goes quite hot, with temperatures about 35 to 40, even 45 degrees. And that means for us that we reach ripeness quite early, and also that we harvest quite early, namely end of July, beginning of August. So, like all our wines, it is a single varietal, 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. We handpick and hand sort the grapes, and the wine stays for 80 to 20 days on the skin, sur lit, and after that, we have the vinification in French oak barrels that we use a mix of first, second, and third time barrels. And then for at least another 2 years in the bottle before it goes on the market. So let's taste it. I have my glass ready. So let's start with the color. I think you can see that it has a dark rubin red color. Quite a bright bouquet of raspberry, cherry, you will find also some green pepper. I think it's very complex. It's a very full-bodied wine. It has a great texture. It has quite a long aftertaste. So when we talk about food pairing, before we say it for the Roditis that we don't need a lot of food, here with this wine we need something to eat with it. And it goes perfectly with venison dishes such as deer or wild boar, but also, for example, with that dumplings that you have with mushrooms or duck. How it's called? Pierogi? Huh? I love them. And I think that would quite pair well with that wine. Yeah, that's from me. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Pierogi. Okay, so yes, I can send you some.
You do that, please.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, Dominic, and please stay with us. And now Spiropoulos again and Konstantina, and the second wine. And yes, the price of the previous one, the price was €8, 8.10, 8.10. Yeah.
Excellent price, 8.10. Yes.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Konstantina. Hello. Spiropoulos. And this is the wine number 18, if I'm not wrong. And the price is €6.7 of this wine. Konstantina. You can see. So please click on the icon of the camera and the icon of the microphone. Click on it. Can you invite me? Czy ty zaprosiłeś na pewno? Yes, you are invited. Yeah. So please refresh or get out for a while and then come back if there's problem. Okay, so we're waiting for you. Please come back to the program, to the platform. Ooh. Whoa. Mamy ciągle zaproszenie? Nie. Resetuję. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, Konstantina is back. We can see you and
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Yes.
Sorry, I'm using Safari in my Mac, so I couldn't just do it again. I should go out and come back. So
there is a lot of problems with the Macs. Okay, so it's your time.
So one thing before moving to our PTO in EMEA about sparkling wine. Ktimas Spiropoulos is producing 2 sparkling wines using the Sarmant methods. My colleague said that the Moscofilero is a very versatile grape, and this is correct. This is why in Mantinia we can make PDO Mantinia sparkling wine. But the problem was that since we had to bring only 2 wines in this tasting, I choose to bring the 2 flag wines, one for the winery Mantinia and one for the winery in EMEA. Hopefully, we will have an opportunity in the future for you to taste both the white, the PDO Mantinia sparkling wine and the rosé. The names are Eau de Panos. We are using currently the Sarmant method with a small variation. We are making both the first and the second fermentation in the same autoclave tank. We are making some testing now in the traditional method as well. Hopefully, in 2 years from now, we will be ready to produce some sparkling wine with traditional method. Since the big con in the Sarmant method is that you have a limitation in how many bottles you are going to make. Because as you know, in the autoclave is specific, so you have specific machinery, so you cannot upgrade very easily the bottles you are making. Currently, the PDO Mantinia, the sparkling one, and the Eau de Panos Rosé, the pink one, is about 6,500 bottles per year. Okay, and the white one is only from Moscofilero, and this is why it is a PDO, and the Rosé one is Moscofilero, and for this year is Moscofilero and Syrah. The previous year was only Moscofilero because we have these variations, as my colleague said, with the skin of the grape. Now we are moving to PDO Nemea. As I told you previously, PDO Nemea, it is made from 100% Agorgitico. Agorgitico is a versatile grape as well as Moscofilero. So you can find a lot of different wines produced by Agorgitico. You can see from rosé to light reds to very, let's say heavy reds like Reserve and Grand Reserve, where you have a lot of stay in the oak. The one that we are going to taste today, it is our simple PDO Nemea, and I'm saying that because except that we are also making a PDO Nemea Reserve and a Grand Reserve as well. So this is a typical red wine vinification, a typical, let's say, Bordeaux vinification. So you have a long maceration in the tank. You have malolactic fermentation, and for this specific one, you have 12 months in a ENOAP. So what you see, if you taste it, is that it is, I think, typical for Agorgitico grapes is that you find a lot of fruits, that you find that in Agorgitico, even if you have it in an oak. You can find more fruits if you have a tank vinified Agorgitico, like the ones that you tasted previously. But you can find the fruits even if you have an oak for 12 months. So fruits, it is spicy with notes of plum. Probably you can find it. A lot of tannins. In this specific one, since it is from 2017, it is smooth and round. But if you taste, let's say, the PDO Nemea 2019, it's quite aggressive and it needs to stay more in order to be more rounded. Of course, as a wine with the French classic vinification, you need some microoxidation before taste it. So you have to open it and make it some circles and probably have it in another jar or something like that. So I think that this one has 2 more years that can stay in the bottle. The price for this wine, as all the wines that you tasted from Ktimas Spiropoulos, it is of course organic, 100% organic. We, except of the protocol from the European Union and USA, Ktimas Spiropoulos is further certified with protocol of Delinat. Delinat is a company dedicated to organic wines and has produced its own protocol where moves the wines from organic to biodynamic. So it has 3 stages of certification. Currently, Ktimas Spiropoulos is in the second one. And hopefully in some years, we can say that we have a biodynamic, to move all biodynamic wines. One mistake that I made previously, the price for PDO Mantinia, it's €4.50. And the price for this one is €6.70. And for my last slide, I just want to say that in every winery, there is always a very special team working all together. You can see here my team from the 2 wineries. I'm very proud for all of them. and very happy to work every day with them. So thank you very much for having us. And probably in the future, we're going to have an opportunity to taste both sparkling and some other wines that we produce. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Konstantina. And now we pass to the last winery. The last two wines is Krissa. Hello, Krissa. No, Krissa. It's Konstantin. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting old. Hello, Krissa.
Hello.
And Ktima Mitravelas. And yeah, so this is you and the last two wines of the tasting.
Last but not least, let's say. I hope the audience is not tired yet. So we are one Mitravelas estate that we are now talking is one of the oldest wineries within the city of Nemea. Nemea, as my previous colleagues already mentioned plenty of times, Nemea it's one of the largest PDO regions of Greece. So we are based within the city of Nemea. Actually, there is a huge history of the Mitravelas family as viticulturists. The winery itself was established in 1913 at the center of the town from Mitravelas brothers. Though there is what you see in front of you, and it's a bit weird, it all seems Greek to you for sure, but I wanted to show these official papers. They are governmental papers from the Capodistrias government back in 1828, as you see here. After the reconstruction of Greece after the Turks, Capodistrias offered the land and gave the land back to the Greeks, and the grandmother Mitravelena, as it was mentioned in these papers, I wish you could see at the left paper the last name. It is written in Greek, Mitravelena, that used to own 0.2, actually 2 stremas. It's the unit that we use for counting the land here in Greece. And so we are owners of land, officially owners of land, back in 1828, as you see here, with 0.2 hectares in the vineyards of Nemea. And this is something that, of course, we are very proud of, because we are viticulturists, the family is viticulturists since 1828, officially written. Yes, these are what I've seen, what you've read, and strema, yes, is divided, is the hectare divided by 10. As I mentioned, the Mitravelas winery was established in 1913, the winery from the Mitravelas bros, though the youngest generation, Konstantinos Mitravelas, that he's now the winery owner and winemaker, took over back in 2003 and continued the history and the tradition, actually, of the family, combining, of course, his own experience now in viticulture with the state-of-the-art equipment and new techniques. He's the youngest Mitravelas person who joined, as I said, back in the 2003. And now, of course, as you see in front of you, this is the entire collection of our wines. At the moment, we produce these 5 different wines, and if you can see, there are 3 reds that we specialize mainly because we are based in the PDO region of Nemea that is only, we only produce by the PDO denomination of origin red wines. So we produce 3 reds, 3 Nemea, 3 PDO wines. We specialize in the Agorgitico grape, that is the only grape permitted in the PDO zone of Nemea. So we are, our motto, our slogan is also the pure Nemea, because we only cultivate with as reds. We only, as reds are concerned, only cultivate Agorgitico, the autochthone, the local noble grape of the region. So we produce 3 different kinds of Nemeas, and this is also what we are proud of, because you have the opportunity in the winery to taste, literally speaking, to taste 3 different styles of Nemea PDO wines, 100% Agorgitico, the 3 of them. Here you see the 3 wines that I'm going to talk about, the 3 reds, but you also see a white that we produce from grapes of Mandinia, Moscofilero 100%, the PDO region that you heard before. And of course, at the moment, we also produce a Rosé Agorgitico, which is the one that you now seeing at the middle of this of the presentation. As I mentioned, speaking of which, the production of the reds consists of 3 different reds, 3 different PDO Nemeas. The first one that you have also, and we're going to taste, is a young inox fermented Nemea. Then we have the Ctima and the young, the unoaked Nemea. Sorry, I didn't mention, the name is Red on Black. The second one, as you see, is the Ctima, and we're also going to taste it. And it ages for 6 months in oak, French oak barrels, and I'm going to explain more details. And the last one that you're now seeing here at the presentation, the last one, the Old Vines. This is our ultra premium wine from very old vines, more than 60 years old. Only 2 parcels, 2 specific parcels, that gives us a very limited production of no more than 2,500 bottles per year. And there are some years that we don't even produce it if it's not of our excellent restrictions and demands, I would say. Mitravelas also tries to expand. My name is Chris. I didn't mention my name. My name is Krisa, and I'm responsible for the communication and the exports of the winery. And nowadays we export in various markets in Europe and abroad, as Australia and United States. We already export a small percentage in Poland, but of course we want to expand even more. We will be glad to. We export in UK, and we go. The export go very well. Germany, as I said, Cyprus, Holland, Belgium, Serbia, and more. We have won various of medals, but I suppose many of my colleagues also do have. So if you could pass to the next, yes, to the next. Yeah, here you can see, for example, a picture of the vineyards. You see how close at the very end of the picture, at the hills of these mountains, you can see the city of Nemea itself. So this is one of our biggest vineyards. We keep low yields, we keep low in interventions. We are not certified, but we always keep low for the yields and the interventions concerned. And this is also our logotype. I wanted also to show it to you and explain. This is a snail. This is a more abstract snail. Now that we rebranded the winery, because before we had a very realistic snail. Now this is the future snail, which is more abstract, as you can see, which is the symbol that always used to be together with us, with the winery from the very beginning, which symbolizes, of course, the slow maturation, as of our top wines do have, and the continuous development, of course, of the winery that Mr. Mitravelas and we all want. Let's pass to the next slide, please. Next. Please pass 2 slides, and then we're gonna go back for the tasting. Here, you can see some of our data, of course, some emails and phones and our social media accounts. We're going to end by this, but this was the metals that I mentioned before. And yes, at the decanter competition, we have won plenty of gold and double gold medals for the reds, and we're very proud, of course, even in the last competition. And I also wanted to show you a nice publicity because of this year, that is the for Greece, we festive 200 years of the independence of Greece. We also, as a winery, we also celebrate 2 centuries of the existence of the vines of the winery. So this was one publi that at the center, as you see, that signifies the 200, almost 200 years of existing of Mitravella's family and viticulture. So let's finally taste our wines, that are the last ones, exactly. This one is the first red that we're going to taste, and as I mentioned before, it's our ENOAP, the fresh Nemea. Back in 2003, when Mr. Mitravelas first started the taking over the winery, he thought that he wanted to give a much more friendly, much more fruit-driven and young Nemea. So this Nemea that you now have in your glasses was the first Nemea to be ENOAP. It's in stainless steel, only inox fermented. It was the first ever Nemea to be launched in the Greek market. It was an idea and innovation of Mr. Mitravelas back in 2003. A pioneering wine at the time, as you can guess, but now you can find even more young and fresh Nemeas. As I mentioned, this is a very fresh and fruit-driven wine. Its color is really ruby color, and mainly in the nose, it has a very fresh version, mainly in cherries and herbs, and it's a juicy bomb, actually, as we say. And we also imagine it is so rounded. You can taste it, actually. It's so rounded and fruitful that the tannins are very round, and it has a moderate density also. You have cherries, jams as well. So it's a very food-friendly wine, a very easygoing wine, and a daily wine, we call it. You can even have it as a glass by itself. It is, we suggest it even in the summertime, slightly cool. And we even suggested in front of the TV without lots of thinking, or even in the veranda. Nevertheless, you can always accompany it with some light dishes, like also some light red sauce dishes. grilled meats, pizzas with light Greek and Mediterranean tastes like oil-based veggies, moussaka, etc. And not to forget, of course, as all of our reds, this is a PDO Nemea, and I hope you like it. It has nice butter, caramel, and of course, I didn't mention about the vinification of the wine, which, as you can guess, it is it has a very few days extraction, so that it gets this, we preserve these fruits and this ruby color. The vineyards were one of the ones that you saw before at the picture. The altitude is more or less 300 to 350 meters, and the vines are not less than 20 years old on average. If you are ready, we could pass at the next one. I don't know whether you have some questions, or I suppose you will leave the questions afterwards. This is a more premium wine. This is also a PDO Nemea, of course, as the previous one. We only produce Nemeas, 100% Agorgitico. And here we're talking about great value for money wine. A bit more sophisticated, of course, because here, apart from the inox, it starts in inox, but then it ages for at least 6 to 8 months in French oak barrels of second and third use. Here you have, we pre-fermented, our winemaker, our enologist pre-fermented for 2 days in a in a cool environment, low temperature, and it continues its extraction for 10 to 15, it depends on the vintage, days of extraction in low temperatures of 12 and even lower temperatures. So what we get here is this wine that you have in the glass, I suppose now, and I cannot hear you, but I suppose you already have it in your glasses, which is, excuse me, which is, has a very nice color. I love its color because it's deep violet. You can see it's deep, powerful, and dark color with violet hues, violet shades. And it has a very nice bouquet of aromas of leather. Here you also have these dark red cherries, but you have, moreover, you have some herbs, you have oregano. It has a nice and vivid acidity that keeps the fruit very crispy. The wine, the tannins exist, but they are very delicate, and they have they give a very silky texture in the wine. It's very full-bodied and round, as we say, and the alcohol and the acidity are being harmonized by the pleasant dark that you have from this wine. It is also it is bottled unfiltered and without fining, and this is one of our philosophies, that we don't want the consumer, a consumer of such a wine, to lose the total experience of this kind of wines. You also get herbs, you get Tabasco, you get ink, and even black tea. It's an excellent, it's a brilliant wine. You can combine it with richer dishes, of course, so as to integrate the tannins and pair these kind of tannins. It has a lot of potential, I should mention, of course, because of the acidity and the way of its vinification. So the potential, depending the vintage, is from 5 to 15 or even more years in this wine. You can combine it, talking of food and wine matching, you can combine it with hunting, with reddish dishes as well, with fat cheeses, hard and mature cheeses. With spicy food, it goes also really well. And even with a fat and rich pasta, you can very easily combine such a wine. I should mention that these vineyards are more than 40 years old, which gives this density and complexity and concentration of this wine. The production here is not more than 7 to 8,000 bottles in this one, and in totally, I should mention, I'm the last one, so I don't want to forget. I know everyone is a little bit tired yet, but I have to mention that the annual production of the winery entirely, I mean, it's more or less nowadays 80 to 100,000 bottles. So it's a medium range winery, and we own 25 hectares, mainly privately owned hectares, vineyards, but we have some permanent contracts with local viticulturists as well. I think it's all from us. I don't know if I have taken more time, but we had to talk about everything, and just stay with this image from us that we are a Mediterranean winery, and we keep pure Nemea.
Thank you very much, Krista. Thank you much. And the wines are imported by a company named Wine and You. Yes, from Warsaw. Okay, perfect. So thank you very much. Stay with us if there's any questions on the chat. And yeah, we're a little bit late now, but it was a long tasting. Perhaps Manolis is still with us. Manolis, are you there? Yes. Hello.
I'm always here with you guys. Well, even though I heard the wine producers and the enologists so many times, I keep on listening to them because it's the new generation, as you see. It's the second generation of people making great wines for Greece. As I told you, there were the first tasting, there were enologists coming from France, studied in France back in the 60s and 70s. And they started the first wave of wine producing quality wines in Greece. Now it's the second wave with winemakers from all over the world, studied in Davis, in California, or in Australia, making their masters, or experimenting different vinification and different climate. But as I told you, what you have to think is that Greece has a lot to do to give more. It's just a close look that a snap that we see now with these 19 wineries, and especially Peloponnese has presenting more than 30% of the production share of Greece, has more to give to the world. So soon we do more. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for participating and having the patience to taste those wines, and hope we see each other soon.
Thank you very much, Manolis. Thank you, all of you, the winemakers and the attendees. And, well, till the next time, I believe.
Yes, if there are any questions, we'll be glad to answer, but I think that everybody now is a little bit tired after 2.5 hours, and keep in mind these lovely wines and find the true match of you.
Thank you, Manolis. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all, and you all will be given all the information about the wines and the presentation via WeTransfer. Yeah, very soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.